especially in India, where we need to integrate all the support systems. And like you said, there is plentiful of resources, like you were pointing out. It's just that how much we use it and how capable are we to use it, and at what stage we need to use it. These are the three criteria I think that is going to speak a lot about if we need a world-class achiever. So I think these are the basic support systems we are going to need if we need a world-class achiever. So anybody having any questions to the panelists?
Can I just add one more point?
Yes, sure.
I work both with international and Indian athletes, so I get a lot of Skype calls from overseas and all. There is a fundamental difference between an Indian athlete and an international athlete, and that's the belief system, the belief in self. I think that somehow, as a race, as a culture, India, we've always been taught to be subservient, and nobody points this out. A classical example I'll give you is we're very enamored by experts from across the world, and you believe like you'll buy an expensive jammer suit if you have an expensive coach or an expensive supplement from US. You'll go faster. The belief system is always outsourced. The most important thing that people need to realize is that we need to fundamentally in our children change the belief system that we were brought up with. So I was in Dubai a few years ago. I had a 12-year-old girl with me, and it was an ITF tennis tournament. You had a Czech girl, you had a Russian girl, you had an American girl, you had an African girl, you had the Indian girl. Every other kid at the age of 12 was independent in their thinking process. What we Indian parents do, le beta. So I'm using this hand because my job is nutrition. Then Jeet will say, the father will be giving the dumbbell. Chalo, dumbbell karo. Then for Dr. Das, it'll be massage karo. So the one thing is belief system that has to get to our children. So if there's anyone under the age of 18 over here, I think stop believing what the adults tell you and do what you want to do. That's the most important thing. Take the help of experts, but you have to have the belief that if I want to be world number one, I have to start thinking here. It's not the infrastructure, it's not the experts. So belief system.
Yeah, okay, I think that's a very nice point. It's the belief system. Anybody having any other points to ask? You can get your doubts clarified with the panelists. And it's a rare thing that we are seeing all the panelists, eminent personalities sitting over here. So you can ask your questions, get your doubts cleared. Yes?
Hi. So, Mr. Jeet, you said that when you came back from Argentina, you submitted a report as well of the Indian hockey girls team. And while Mr. Habibullah said that there are resources, so is there a way to bridge the gap between resources being there but not being utilized? Like, was anything done that despite you having submitted the report, was there anything done after that? Did the Federation take any measures or any steps?
Sadly, no. Okay. As Ryan pointed out, there were two things here. A, the girls were from a particular state, from Haryana. Okay, so half the girls were like vegetarians. Half the girls, they're used to a system. You know, changing that was difficult. And changing that in a small camp of 20 days, 25 days was difficult. And the Olympic qualifier was a couple of months away. But I don't know, post that, because I left the team, post that what they did, I think they would have done something good. Otherwise, we wouldn't have qualified. Okay, so all we could do is put it across. And the so-called Sports Authority of India, I think good they've changed the name from authority. Okay, so that was a gap, you know. Yes, they hired experts, but the decision makers, they were following the same system. So not much of a change.
I'm sorry, your question was more in the context of... So, so part of it is, like I stressed, have a plan. Having a plan makes a difference. So, over 10 years back, when I got back into changing sport and working with some of India's top talent, it was more about just, everyone only wants, right? Every athlete, irrespective of whether it's grassroots or the top athletes, how many ever crores they make, they still feel that they still need more. It's not enough. They need more support. They need more freebies. They need more stuff. So the questions are of saying, what's the plan? Do you have even a plan? Because you need to be accountable for whatever you get. So you need to be accountable to your family. You need to be forget about just financially accountable. You need to be accountable to your family. You need to be accountable to your coach, your support staff, everyone else who's working with you. And then, of course, then there's a financial responsibility as well when you get something. So the point was, when we saw the big change happen when there was a plan. The plan, once it's defined, put in black and white, then there's accountability. Without any plan in place, the integration of everyone's roles becomes again ad hoc and potentially allows for cracks to happen. The way we started, we said, you're as strong as your weakest link. Whatever it may be, whether it's nutrition, whether it's fitness, whether it's rehab, whether it is your mind training, whatever it may be. All your support services, if they are not integrated into a plan which is written, defined, and then visible, nothing's going to happen. So it starts with a plan, and that can make a difference.
One observation, and Hakim, you've done it beautifully in terms of making a plan and all. How many of you have applied for a passport 20 years ago, and how many of you have applied for a passport in the last 3 years? I got my passport in the last 3 years in 24 hours. 24 hours. Now, here's the colossal mind shift that we need to have. Government needs to give us direction, but privatization needs to implement. So your passport system, I think today, if I'm not mistaken, is run by TCS. Right? So there's all that automation. They're doing a beautiful model. If any of you have gone to Kolar and seen the healthcare over there, I was flabbergasted and floored. I mean, that sort of accountability at the OPD level to beating the doctor to doctor entering the note to the discharge. So the question that you ask is just about, I believe that accountability in government at this point, there's no plan. So it's like, let's do the best that we can do. So they're trying the best that they can do. And, they'll throw money at it or they'll put people in. And the current governments are really doing a good job, both at the state and the center level, because I've seen it over 20 years. But the people who are the bureaucrats and the guys that are doing stuff, I don't work with government. People in this audience will know Ryan Fernando refuses to work with government because there's nobody accountable. So I tell people, you want to work with me? Come to my clinic. They say, come work with the hockey team, come work with the cricket team. I'm sorry, you do not have a plan in place. The day it gets privatized, I'll be the first one at the doorstep knocking, because then they will make me accountable and they'll make you, the athlete, accountable. And that's when we'll start winning medals. You're right. So ma'am, it's like, a bucket of water. We have 1.2 billion. I always say this, please take no offense. We have 1.2 billion lab rats. Okay? So what happens is, if at least 50%, this is my personal opinion, if at least 50% of society benefits, hats off to whoever's doing whatever. Because you try and put 10 people in a room to agree something, you can't get 10 people to agree. So you take cellular operators, you take Airtel, oh, Airtel is so bad. You take Vodafone, oh, Vodafone is so bad. The point is, today we are connected, things are working, systems are coming to place. If you see the whole journey, even this forum that has happened today, and big thanks to Gammatics, is a few hundred people have come in together. Is anything going to come out of it? Definitely yes. If we did this 10 years ago, nothing. It's a process of evolution of society. It's the economics, it's the process, it's the plan. Unfortunately, you and I are born in this generation. Our grandchildren will benefit from the plan.
I personally, collating all of your views is
Yeah.
I think big data is doing that for us right now, because big data, if those of you don't understand, is computers crunching numbers. And at some point, some smart techie guys are saying, listen, Ryan, you're not planning calories properly. That guy's not going to win a medal. So the plans are there, the ecosystem's there. I have 2 of my staff over here who are from IISWB in Calcutta, which is the only sports diploma management course in the country. So we need a lot more management driven youth to come into this planning process, because young India compared to the old India, we old Indian guys are like now getting older, so we're not able to join the dots. Younger generations able to join the dots. So I think even government, we need to vote for younger people. In bureaucracy, we need younger people, and in your experts also, you need younger people. So I think that's the way for us to go now.